Let's go, boy.
Hello there, I'm Eurogamer's Ian Higton and this is my advanced base building tutorial for Fallout 4. In this video I'll be sharing some advanced base building tips that should help you make the most of your settlements. If you're only just starting out with base building though, I'd recommend watching my base building for beginners video before watching this one. There's a link to it in the description below. Okay then, tip 1. How to set your own foundations. I'm going to start off with one of the most useful base building tips there is. In Sanctuary, most people will automatically build their base on top of one of the old building foundations. That's fair enough and very sensible, but what if you want to build somewhere where the floor is uneven? Getting things to snap together in a neat way can be a nightmare if the first block you place is slightly wonky, but this tip will enable you to create a level building platform anywhere you wish. What you want to use is the concrete shack foundation. You'll find this in the Structures Wood Floors menu, and it's easily overlooked as it looks just like a big useless square. The cool thing about this block though is that the concrete section will clip into the floor, unlike other building blocks which will only rest on the top. As you can see here, this trick has allowed me to neatly build a flat foundation onto the side of a slope. It should be noted though that concrete is very hard to get hold of and it will run out fast. You can salvage concrete from bags of cement or get it from scrapping cinder blocks and the ruined houses in Sanctuary, or you can buy a shipment of concrete from Connie Abernathy at Abernathy Farm. The shipment of concrete gives you 50 concrete in total, and prices will depend on your perks. A high charisma and as many copies of Tales of a Junktown Jerky vendor as you can find should help you drive the prices down. If you are struggling to find concrete though, you can always use the wooden shack foundation instead. This works exactly the same way but replaces the concrete with wooden stilts. Alternatively, if you are very low on materials, you could just use one foundation block to set the level of your build and then snap floors to it rather than other foundation blocks. This method will make it look like your structure is floating, but it could double as a nice way to make some hidden underground storage rooms. Tip 2. How to raise and lower items. Now, you can raise and lower items pretty easily by looking up and down while you have an item selected. However, this can be a bit fiddly, so Fallout 4 includes a much more precise way to position your objects. To raise and lower items on the Xbox One version of Fallout 4, you have to select the item you wish to maneuver and then hold down A and the left bumper button at the same time. Then with the left thumbstick, you can adjust the height of the object. If you hold down A and the right bumper, you'll also be able to adjust the item's distance, like so. On the PS4, those controls are X and L1 for height and X and R1 for distance, while on the PC you'll need to roll your mouse wheel to adjust the height, or hold down E and roll your mouse wheel for distance. Tip 3. Size management. One of the biggest problems you'll face when making settlements is managing your settlement size. You're limited to how many items you can place, and this actually runs out rather quickly if you don't keep track of that status bar in the top right hand corner of the screen. If that fills up, you might end up having to scrap something you've spent time building just to make room for something else, and that would be a right pain. Before you resort to that though, make sure you look around the editable area, the area within the green wall, just to make sure you've scrapped absolutely everything in the vicinity, be it trees, fences, lampposts, whatever. You see, items that were in the area before you started building there also count towards the total size of the settlement, and by doing this simple task you can sometimes give yourself a lot more breathing room for your builds. Tip 4. Sharing building materials. By the time you've managed to gather enough materials to embark on some epic builds, you'll probably have completed a large chunk of the game, including most of the settlement liberation missions given to you by Preston Garvey. Completing a settlement liberation mission will unlock a new editable area for you to build in, and there are quite a few settlements dotted around Boston for you to choose from. Trouble is, these new settlements have hardly any crafting materials stored in their workbenches. However, there is a handy way to share materials between your bases. Firstly, and this is most important, you will need to have your Charisma special unlocked to level 6 and have the local leader perk active. With these requirements met, you'll be able to set up supply lines between your settlements, allowing you to access building materials stored in other workbenches. To set up a supply route, you'll need to be in your workshop menu. From there, walk up to an unassigned settler, and at the bottom of the screen you'll see the supply line option. Selecting that will bring up the option to send the settler to any unlocked settlements you may own. I'm using this settler to open a trade route between Ten Pines Bluff and Sanctuary. Doing this will instantly allow me to access materials stored in Sanctuary while building in Ten Pines, and vice versa. But don't do what I did and look in the workbench transfer menu and freak out when you don't see a bunch of new components in there. That's not how supply lines work. Instead, if you check the individual building items in your workbench menu, you should see all your extra crafting components listed right next to them. Phew! Tip 5. Clipping your builds. This lovely little exploit will allow you to build impressive settlements in places that are normally out of bounds due to the way objects refuse to clip through walls. For this example, I'm going to show you how to build a treehouse in Sanctuary, right here up this big tree in the centre of the settlement. If you try to build one normally, you'll find that the branches of the tree block you from placing items anywhere near them, which will leave huge gaps in the floor and will mean you won't be able to add a roof. And both of those are kind of essential when it comes to tree houses. So how can we get around this? Well, the following exploit will let you clip your builds through solid objects, meaning you can create impossible structures with minimal effort. First, you'll need to place a starter block. The best ones to use are the concrete foundations, as they clip through the ground by default. Onto this, I'm building a simple floor, about the same size as I'd want the base of my treehouse to be. Okay, now the cool bit. Select the concrete foundation block by holding down A on the Xbox, X on the PS4 or E on the PC. This will group select everything attached to that foundation block, allowing you to move the whole structure. As you can see, this now allows the treehouse floor to clip neatly through the centre of the tree. Magic! If you want to build the treehouse higher, you'll need to stack 2 foundation blocks, one on top of the other. Normally they won't stack automatically, but if you attach some stairs to the top edge of the first block, you'll then be able to snap another foundation block on top. Then just build your treehouse again and repeat the process. But remember, you'll need to fully construct the treehouse before you use this trick. You won't be able to add a roof once the base is up there because the branches will get in the way. Once your base is in place, make sure you can get in by attaching stairs to a door, remove the concrete foundations, and then you can get decorating. Voila! Here's my rather basic but fully functional treehouse. Oh, it's lovely. So there you go, those advanced base building tips should help you on the road to creating some awesome builds. If you found this video helpful, do give it a like and make sure to subscribe to Eurogamer for more Fallout 4 tutorials in the near future, including one on creating circuits and programming computers. Goodbye! Your first attempt at base building in Fallout 4 can be rather intimidating, thanks to the amount of craftable items you can choose from in Fallout 4's workshop menus, and the countless crafting components you find strewn around Boston.